Hi, this is Ariana Antonio for Immersive Application Deployment 1501, and this is my week 4 final video. In terms of what I found most valuable this month, I think that's also what I found most challenging, which would be implementing an immersive element. Leaderboards and achievements are fairly straightforward. I didn't find those too terribly difficult to come up with something to kind of satisfy that, but the immersive element I found to be very valuable in the sense that, obviously games live or die by whether or not they're replayable. And something as important as an immersive element, I think, is one of the biggest things to making it replayable. Leaderboards and achievements are fun and all, but whether or not they really have that pull to keep coming back, I think a lot relies on the immersive element. So I found learning more about those to be very valuable, but also very challenging. Coming up with a good one, especially for my app, since my app doesn't really have much of a story. There isn't a whole lot you can really do skill-wise, at least different skills. There's pretty much, one skill of swiping back and forth and tapping a whole bunch as an endless game. So, I kept it simple on purpose since I didn't know exactly what actual coding we would be learning. And it turned out to be the simplicity kind of hurt it a little bit, I felt, when trying to come up with ways to make it more interesting and more complex and that sort of stuff. In terms of it being in kind of endless type of game, there was only so far I could go with that, I felt. But so the immersive element was definitely very valuable, but also challenging to make sure that I felt like I was implementing it in the best way possibly. In terms of done differently, I think that would pretty much just be going back and maybe picking a different game to make for the whole game block. I enjoyed making the game that I did, but it was, I felt, so simple that it ended up being a little bit of a hindrance at certain points. But at the same time, I was able to focus, or the gameplay was simple enough that I was able to focus on the other elements that were required of the class. So, And in terms of things that could use more clarification, there's not really much. Everything was very straightforward, very simple, but, broad, important topics. And I feel, for sure that I learned a lot about making a better game rather than just throwing some stuff together and expecting it to get to the top of the App Store. That obviously there's a lot more that goes into it. So yeah, I would say that's about it. Thanks.